All right, it is time to go racing from Barcelona. Up front will be Giancarlo and Adam Barker. Yuho and Mike Dolling on the second row. Simon Zierk, Jason Wahlberg have the third row. Nick Sorensen and Scott Nalawi have the fourth row. Maximilian Gunther and Alexander. I'm not going to try that this morning. I'll find out for next week. He is a new driver, so welcome, Alexander. Mike Marshall and Gregorio Caridi will be 11th and 12th. 13th is Ronnie Wimberly. Janet Gunther is 14th. 15th is McMullet McCready. 16th is Martin Johnson. Ed Schilling is 7th. 17th. Matt Bear 18th. And Harry back in 19th. And it's great to see Adam Barker up on the front row for this one. And let's do a quick check of the track temperature right now. It has gone up another degree. It's now up to 118 degrees on track. 82 degree air temperature and a 12-mile-an-hour wind could make things a bit more interesting in certain parts of the track. And they'll pace around just a small part of the track and then send it down the long front straightaway. The hard right-hander into turn one. And as you heard Eric McCready say, a couple of spots on this track will be very dicey. That first lap, cold tires on the hot track. And then as fuel burns off, things will get even more interesting. And could Adam Barker or any of the other guys right there towards the front, could this be the day that we talk to a different driver in victory lane? We know Yuho's been there 3 times this season. Giancarlo's been there 5 times this season. But could one of these other drivers come up here and get it done today? As the pace car drops off, out of the final turn there on the gas, green flag is in the air. Giancarlo getting a good jump on the field down into turn one. And this is where things will get interesting. Yuho already looking for second place on Adam Barker. Oh, Yuho clipping a little bit of the inside. So far, everybody makes it through clean, and it looks like the entire field makes the first turn cleanly. Cars have a tendency to swing out wide through this section, but everybody keeps them going the right way. A little dicey mid-pack. As Jason Wahlberg trying to advance his position right now. Adam Barker still holding on to second place, but Yuho right on the back bumper. Mike Dolling back in 5th. Simon Zierk has managed to slip by in the BMW up to 4th. No big movers yet, but you know, the first lap isn't over yet. And Giancarlo already has a 1-second lead over Adam Barker. And it looks like Wahlberg has crashed. Jason Wahlberg in the lamp. There's Jason in the Lambo. Just didn't get the car settled enough. And several drivers having to check up to slip by, but nobody else caught in that one. Great save by all the drivers. Adam Barker holding on to second, Yuho in third, Simon Zierk fourth, Mike Dulling in fifth. Scott Nalawi on the move. Scott in a Lambo today. Scott has made his way up to sixth place. Nick Sorensen in seventh. Newcomer Alexander, he is up to eighth now. Mike Marshall is following him through up to ninth, and Gregorio Caridi also coming forward to 10th. Matt Bear, another driver who started moving forward, he is up to 16th. Giancarlo continuing to pull away just a little bit. 1.2 second lead over Adam Barker. Nice to see Adam back in the Hello Kitty car. Yuho all over the back bumper. Now that tight corners is where the Porsche really excels, but that Audi gets off the turn so much better. He can get to the throttle quicker and get a better run off. However, the sections of track like this, right through this chicane, these are the places where the Porsche, generally speaking, will excel. Although Yuho pushing a little too hard, went wide and lost some ground. Mike Dulling in an Audi this week as well. Worth noting that Giancarlo is the only driver that has been in the same car the whole season. Yuho has changed cars one time. He's run the Porsche 7 out of 8 races and ran the BMW in 1. Aaron, to answer your question, this guy right here, his name is Matt Bear. He does oval. Giancarlo out front, continuing to extend that lead to 1.5 seconds. Adam Barker in second. Yuho has made up the ground he lost. He's back. He is still in third and closing back in. Simon Zierk is fourth. Mike Dulling in fifth. They're nose to tail all over the track, and surprisingly, a lot of these guys, we have not seen the issues a lot of drivers predicted here. McCready has dropped back to 16th. Jason Wahlberg, after his incident, is 17th. Ed Schilling is 18th, and Harry didn't. It looks like Harry didn't grid. As they come through the final corner again, and Martin Johnson has crashed. Oh, and Matt Bear had gone off track right in front of him. Matt has to stay high. They gets together with McCready. Oh, Jason Wahlberg gets a piece of it too. Several cars involved in that incident. And that was a section of track we talked about earlier that is going to be a bit dicey through there every time they come through, especially if they're in the middle of a battle with these track temperatures. It's going to be a fight all day long just to keep the car going the right way. I could be mistaken, but it did look like as Giancarlo came through that fast right-hander, I think he was even kicking the back end out a little. Martin Johnson, being involved in that incident, has gone to pit road. Looks like he is going to get some repairs. And if he tops off on fuel here, he cannot go the distance. But as you heard Eric say earlier, that extra fuel in the car really helping today. In fact, a lot of drivers were saying after 5 laps, they really started to see the fall off. And the more fuel they used, the more their speeds fell off, the more they had to back up their corner entry. Simon Zierk in 4th. Mike Dulling currently running in 5th. Scott Nalawi 6th. Nick Sorensen 7th. Newcomer Alexander up to 8th. Mike Marshall is 9th. Gregorio Caridi in 10th. And Ronnie Wimberly starting to make his way forward as well. We've talked about him before. You can check out Quad Racing on Twitch. This guy is just flat amazing. McCready, even with the damage, up to 13th now. Does have a bit of damage on the nose. Matt Bear also advancing 3 positions. Started in 18th, up to 15th, despite an off track earlier. But this already starting to spread out a little bit. Not seeing a lot of changes for position. Adam Barker and Yuho have been nose to tail since the beginning. Certain parts of the track, Adam pulls away just a hair, but when you get into the tighter sections, Yuho claws back that gap. Simon Zierk is 2.8 seconds behind him, trying to make up ground. And then there's this battle going on. Mike Dolling in 5th has Scott Nalawi and Nick Sorensen not far behind. And if I didn't know better, I would say Nick Sorensen's running a My Little Pony paint scheme. So we've got Hello Kitty and My Little Pony on track. No, it is some kind of unicorn. I can't read the quarter panel very well, but not My Little Pony. As Sorensen gets a run down the front straightaway, will he make the dive into turn 1? He's looking out. Doesn't make the move yet. But through this tight section, he sticks the nose in. And he has got even. The Porsche much more nimble through tighter sections, but the Lambo just able to get back on the gas. And pulled away. Martin Johnson has had another incident, as has Janik Gunther. Let's see what happened to Janik first. Oh, he got a little too much of the curbing, just misses the turn. And it looks like Martin Johnson might have had another fairly big incident there in the Lambo. Way off track, catches the dirt and just goes around. Meanwhile, Giancarlo continues to walk away. 2-second lead right now. Adam Barker and Yuho still nose to tail. Simon Zierk has actually closed the gap on these two just a little bit. Just a couple of tenths of a second. Mike Dolling still in the mix. Something has happened to Simon Zierk. I think he might have lost connection. I cannot even get him on screen. It appears Simon Zierk, who was running in the top 5, has lost connection. Try to confirm here in a moment, but that's what it is looking like. And it does appear Simon does appear to be out of the race. So a lot of drivers just got a free pass up the line, and moving Scott Nalawi up to 5th, Nick Sorensen 6th, Alexander 7th, Mike Marshall 8th, Gregorio Caridi 9th, and Maximilian Gunther is in 10th. Hey, Ryan, good morning, buddy. Going good. Adam Barker has managed to hold off Yuho so far this race, and actually occasionally gets a little bit of a gap on him. Plus, he has kept the gap to Giancarlo small. It was 2 seconds a moment ago. It is now 1.6. Could Adam Barker break the two-car win season today? So far, the only two winners have been Yuho and Giancarlo, but look at Adam Barker go today. And Mike Dulling in 4th place, trying to run all of them down. He is now almost 6 seconds behind, but he's got Scott Nalawi, Nick Sorensen, and Alexander right there. In fact, 5th through 10th are just 4.7 seconds apart. So everybody pretty well in somebody else's slipstream. This could be where we see a lot of the action throughout the day. Holy cow, Scott went wide. Great save, though, as we've seen a lot of guys, when they catch those yellow barriers on the outside, it's sent more than one car around today. Let's see, Ryan, the leader is running 147.94 with a best lap of 146.38. But here's the interesting part we talked about earlier. Track temperature is currently 118 degrees. Practice, it was 110. Qualifying, it was 117. So the track temperature has continued to go up, and all the drivers said the same thing in practice. After 5 laps, it just is so hard to drive. The back tires sliding all over the place. Expect to see, as we mentioned earlier in the race, expect to see some unintentional drift as the fuel load gets lighter. And Eric McCready is off. Something also happened to Simon Zierk. McCready looks like he just completely missed the turn. He stopped. Simon Zierk went to pit road as well. Simon is back out after losing connection. That's what Simon... I have no idea what happened with McCready. It looked like he just completely missed the switchback and then towed to pit road. Hope everything's okay, Eric. Adam Barker has the gap down to 1.7 seconds behind Giancarlo. I don't know where he has found so much speed, but he is actually starting to close the gap on the leader just a little bit. Yuho back in third, maintaining about 3/4 of a second behind Adam Barker. Mike Dulling currently running in fourth. Scott Nalawi in fifth. Scott has had a few close calls today, but managed to save it and keep marching forward. Nick Sorensen is sixth. Newcomer Alexander is seventh. Mike Marshall eighth. Gregorio Caridi is ninth, and Maximilian Gunther is in 10th. Ronnie is backwards. Let's see what happened. Oh, just gets a little too wide out of the final corner, getting as much as he could, and it was just a little too much. McCready is now back out on track after that sudden trip to pit road. Catalunya is turning out to be a wild race, but not for the reasons we originally thought. And would you look at this? Yuho in third place, second in the points, is losing ground to Adam Barker. I know Adam Barker probably has the biggest fan club in the league, and his fans have got to be extremely happy this morning. Scott Nalawi back in 5th place. Nick Sorensen in 6th and Alexander in 7th. That little group is closed up to within a second of each other. Mike Marshall just 1.3 seconds back from them. Gregorio has lost touch with that group, and he's got Maximilian all over the back bumper in 9th and 10th. And Maximilian gets a big run through there, has to check up. Although Mike Marshall had to get out of it just a little bit, got a little too much of the bump there, and here goes Maximilian. Down the front straightaway, trying to get the nose into turn 1. Looks like he might pull it off here. Max just braked a split second later. But now the question is coming off the corner, because the Audis and the Lambos have been the best off the corner, especially through this section so far today. But Maximilian Gunther makes that Porsche stick and takes 9th place. Meanwhile, 4th place Mike Doling has this group behind him closing back in. Those 3 cars directly behind, just over a second between them, and they are just a second behind 4th place Mike Doling. Really, the top 3 have pulled away from the main body of the race, but about 4th through 8th are still within striking distance of each other. And Adam Barker has started closing in on Giancarlo again. Martin Johnson has crashed. Off into turn number 1, just sent it in too deep, spins it around. Doesn't touch anything, so he'll come out of this one okay. And look at the run that Adam Barker is having. In fact, he has pulled 2 seconds on Yuho. Mike Doling back in 4th, now 7 seconds back from the lead 3. And lap traffic about to become a concern. Things about to get very interesting on track. Quick look at the track temperature. It will continue to go up a little bit. So far, 118. Let's see what it's like from inside the car. As they come out of the final turn, we will hop in the car with Giancarlo. Oops. Through the final chicane. And here he comes out of the final corner. 2.89 mile long track with 16 turns in it. Down the front straightaway, across the start finish line, downhill section. Gets on the brakes as late as possible, sets it in, apexes turn 1, catches a little bit of the yellow there. Turn 2, then turn 3, and one of the trickier places on the track when it's this hot was turn 3 and turn 4. A lot of the drivers were talking about that during practice. That is Simon Zierk directly ahead, who had connection difficulties earlier. Now trying to get up to speed through the left-hander and then a longer straightaway. We've got a car off. That is Martin Johnson, and it looks like Nick Sorensen also involved in an incident. We'll take a look at that in a moment. Trying not to cut the course and get a time penalty there. Back into the right-hander. Another fairly long straightaway. And down into a very hard left-hander. You're dropping all the way to first gear. Careful on the gas so you don't lose the back end. Working up through the gears. Down through the final chicane and then the final right-hander. And back to the start-finish line. It's worth noting, over the course of that lap, Adam Barker has picked up another half a second. He is 3/4 of a second behind. Let's see what happened to Nick Sorensen. There is Sorensen in the number 16 Porsche. The Unicorn saves him. Keeps him off the wall. Then a few seconds. Oh! There was the second incident. Looks like Gregorio Caridi had nowhere to go. Double check that. I do believe that was Gregorio that had nowhere to go there. And would you look at this? This season is really starting to turn around, because Adam Barker is in second and within half of a second of the leader. Be interesting though, as they have Simon Zierk right in front of him. Simon extremely fast. He was in the top 5 before connection problems. Could this be it? Could Adam Barker go to the lead for the first time this season? Looked like he just didn't have the momentum right there when Giancarlo made the bobble, but this could be the lap. He has consistently closed in on him. Loses a little bit through the final turn. Can he make it up down the straightaway? Simon Zierk scoots over. He is closing in on him down the straightaway, but will he have enough time to make a dive into turn 1? Not yet. Boy, Simon really sent it in behind him. He is trying to stay in the draft there. All you Adam Barker fans out there, get on your feet because things are about to get exciting. Barker starting to look to the inside already. Can't quite get there yet, but he is setting him up. Matt Bear has crashed. Looks like Ronnie has crashed as well. Let's take a quick look. Oh, Ronnie clipped a little bit of the apron, then he gets into the... Yeah, he went for a ride. All right, Matt Bear headed down into turn 1. One of the Gunthers looking to the inside there. Matt loses the back end. Turn 1 is one of the places as fuel burns off. These guys are getting low on fuel and making that back end light on this hot track. That is going to get a lot more sketchy. Holy cow, this one's getting a little bit crazy. Jason Wahlberg went off track. We did talk about it earlier. Once the fuel burns off, this track is already greasy due to the track temperature this morning. I believe Wahlberg went off there earlier in the race as well. But as this track is so hot and so greasy, a lot of the drivers are going to be struggling. And then you add in the fuel load, the weight coming off of the back end. They have to be extremely careful, and it does not take much to send one around. Looks like Barker might have actually had a little bit of a drift on for a second there into the turn. This is where Adam Barker has been faster than Giancarlo. The whole race he goes a little wider than usual. Lost a little bit of ground there. Approaching halfway and have not seen a lot of green flag. Haven't seen any fuel stops yet. Surprised if you guys have not tried short pitting to get the weight back on the rear tires. One of the rare situations where you hear guys actually wanting a full fuel load because that makes them faster. Yuho was 2 seconds behind this battle. He is now up to 1.3, so he is gaining ground on the two lead cars. Ronnie did get back out on track. He is rolling again. No, I stand corrected. He did not get back out on track. Adam Barker losing a little bit of ground off that final turn and has to make it up down the front straightaway. Yuho in third, Mike Dolling in fourth, and Scott Nalawi in fifth. Newcomer Alexander up into sixth now after starting in 10th. Mike Marshall up to 7th after starting 11th. Maximilian Gunther has made his way up to 8th. Jason Wahlberg still holding on to the top 10 despite a couple of incidents. And Ed Schilling currently running in 10th place. As of right now, I believe only 3 cars confirmed out of the race. Harry, Martin Johnson, Nick Sorensen, all 3 confirmed out of the race. Ronnie is on pit road. Simon Zierk and McMullet McCready are both 1 or more laps down. And Giancarlo has started to pull away again. Adam Barker in second, now 1.4 seconds back after being all over the back bumper of Giancarlo and battling for the lead, and that car was a little sideways that time. Now, the last time we were at an extremely hot track, that was at Homestead. Nobody changed tires. We only saw a couple of tire changes at Sabuca. Don't expect to see any tire changes today, but you never know, especially with some of the guys further back in the field, might take advantage and see if they can make up some ground. Yuho has really started to close the gap back down on second place, Adam Barker. Mike Dolling In fourth, Scott Malawi has closed the gap up on him and pulled away a little bit from Alexander. Not that many laps ago, Alexander all over the back bumper of Scott Malawi. Now we are past halfway. Have not seen any stops for fuel yet. Don't expect to see Giancarlo ever short pit. Some of these guys are going to wait as long as possible, and due to the track temperature, they can't push the cars as hard. So they're probably saving a little bit more fuel and probably go further than we've seen them go all season. Trying to remember, I think the longest we have seen anybody stay out all season long was 42 minutes before stopping for fuel. Adam Barker in second. Yuho in third. Mike Dolling in fourth has started to pull away from Malawi again just a little bit. Matt Bear, who we saw have an incident earlier, has made up 6 spots and is now up to 12th. Gregorio Caridi 13th, McCready in 14th. And it looks like Scott Malawi is the first car to pit road for fuel. Now we know Giancarlo can stretch that fuel probably further than most of them. Adam Barker has crashed. Down through turn 1, into turn 2. It's getting greasy. Oh, Adam! He bounces it off the wall but keeps going. He only loses 1 spot. He's going to hold on to third for the moment. And we've seen a couple of cars with minor front end damage so far today. Adam has gotten back past Simon Zurich, who is a lap down. He's now 4.5 seconds behind Yuho, but pit strategy could help here, and he is fast today. But that did give Giancarlo a little bit of breathing room. He now has a 2.5 second lead over Yuho. Adam Barker still has 6.5 seconds over Mike Dolling. He's got a little breathing room behind him. Alexander currently in 5th, and Yuho is on pit road. Giancarlo stays out. I bet Adam Barker hits pit road. Yes, he does. Mike Dolling stays out. Maximilian Gunther now on pit road. And hopefully Adam Barker can have a good stop here. Yuho is on his way out. Adam Barker's on his way out. Should see Giancarlo come either this lap or the next lap. Currently has a 14 second lead rather. But once pit stops cycle around, the lead will be the question. How much ground did Adam Barker make up? He lost a little bit of time to Yuho. He's now 5 seconds back. So he lost about a second to him on pit road. Giancarlo's coming to pit road. Mike Dowling will assume the lead if he stays out. Nope, Dowling is going to come to pit road. Will anybody try and stretch it? Alexander comes to pit road. Mike Marshall is on pit road. Yuho currently has to try and get back. This is an opportunity for him to make up some time if Giancarlo has a bad stop here. And Adam Barker is starting to gain on Yuho slowly. If Yuho can pick up some ground and be there when Giancarlo comes out. Giancarlo is rolling off pit road. What's the gap going to be? It's going to be big. 5.4 seconds now. Yuho had a good head of steam. He got it down to a 3.5 second gap. Adam Barker 4 3/4 behind. 21 minutes left to go. Adam might actually be able to catch up to Yuho at the speeds he has been running. Hey, good morning, Cody. Mike Dowling in 4th and Scott Nalawi in 5th. But a massive shakeup. That wreck by Adam Barker, who had been battling for the lead off and on the first half of the race. Now Giancarlo's lead 3 seconds over Yuho. And Yuho has extended his lead over Adam Barker now to 5 seconds. It looked like Adam was gaining on him. Mike Dowling currently in 4th. Scott Nalawi in 5th. These two still battling nose to tail. Scott has had quite a comeback today. Another driver who has had quite a comeback is Jason Wahlberg, who has had a couple of off tracks and spins. He is up to 9th. Matt Baer also had an incident early, but managing to make his way up 5 spots. He is currently in 13th. But again, here we are. Giancarlo late in the race has a significant lead, but the lead is shrinking. Yuho's got it down under 3 seconds. It hovers right around 3 seconds, but seems to be gaining a little bit of ground. His lap times are just a hair faster. Meanwhile, Adam Barker, currently running in 3rd, had a great run going earlier in the race. Was in 2nd, was battling Giancarlo, giving Giancarlo one heck of a run for his money until an incident right before his pit stop. Coming through turns 1 and 2, just spun the car. Still, he has overcome that just due to how fast he has been here today. And could this, he shook off the worst of the bad luck. Can he shake off the rest of it? Any mistake out of Giancarlo, any mistake out of Yuho, and Adam Barker will be there. Remember, it's definitely a great thing to see Adam back in contention after the start to the season he had, where every race something went terribly wrong. He has managed to, with just a little bit of luck on his side, work his way back up to 5th in points. Mike Dowling and Scott Nalawi continuing to battle 4th and 5th place. The newcomer Alexander and Mike Marshall also battling in 6th and 7th. Maximilian Gunther all alone in 8th place right now. Got quite a gap in front and behind. Jason Wahlberg in 9th. Gregorio Caridi, you got to give that guy credit, ran into a car, had nowhere to go on track. The car spun right in front of him, hit it at full speed, and got it limped around to pit road, got it fixed, and still maintaining the top 10. Ed Schilling started in 17th. He is up to 11th place. Expected to see a little bit more out of the Mercedes today with the long straightaways here at Catalunya. Just that extra power that the Merc has, we thought it would be a little bit more prominent and a little bit further up. That is the highest running Mercedes, though, in 11th. As it stands right now, it is Lamborghini, Porsche, Audi, Lambo, Porsche. Lambo in 5th, Audi in 6th, then Porsche, Lambo, Audi. So the Lamborghini and the Audi seem to be the two dominant cars today. Janet Gunther back in 12th. Matt Baer, the other Merc left in the field, in 13th. The lone BMW of Simon Zierk back in 15th after an early incident. He was in the top 5 and just lost it. Trying to make up as much ground as possible. Giancarlo has a bit of clear track ahead. He's not going to run into a lap car anytime soon. 15 minutes left. He may not run into another lap car at all. He might have clear sailing until the end of the race. Yuho has chopped his lead down to 2.5 seconds. Adam Barker now 7.5 seconds behind Yuho. Track temperature still holding steady at 118 degrees. There is Yuho trying to make up a little bit of ground. Yuho has 3 wins this season. Giancarlo has 5. Simon Zierk rolling off pit road. I do believe he was the last car to make a pit stop. He had to pit after his early incident. And now he is actually between the top 2. As we've seen, though, when the leaders come to him, he is generally going to move over for him. He is staying to the inside for Yuho. Trying to give Yuho a hand, catching up to Giancarlo. Mike Doling, we've mentioned him a couple of times. He has just steadily worked his way into 4th place. And just stayed there. Scott Nolowi has been all over the back bumper. I would expect that these two might have a last lap battle. And same thing with Mike Marshall and newcomer Alexander. They have been nose to tail most of the race, currently in 6th and 7th. Maximilian Gunther back there in 8th has a buffer in front and behind of over 6 seconds. Jason Wahlberg in 9th, Gregorio Caridi in 10th, and it wasn't that many laps ago. That car was practically totaled. Great job by him. Interesting note, with the temperature, a lot of races we never see more than about a 1 second fluctuation in the lap times. But with this high temperature, like we saw at Homestead, these guys are dropping 2+ seconds on their lap times later in the run, just due to the high track temperature and the worn out tires. Also, one of the few times like Homestead where you hear later in the run, once fuel burns off, the car is usually faster because it's lighter. It's slower today. It was slower at Homestead because they don't have the weight over the rear tires to put the power down. Guys having to be very, very controlled getting on the gas. I would be willing to bet some of these guys even... even going slower than they necessarily have to on the gas just to play it safe. I don't think Yuho is, though. He is still sending it. The gap was almost 3 seconds again. He's closed it down to 2.5. 10 minutes left to go. We've seen him come from further back before. Adam Barker, such a heartbreak now, but still having a great run in the top 3, but it looked like at one point Barker was going to get his first win of the season today. Prior to pit stops, he was all over the back bumper of Giancarlo. One incident through turn 1 and turn 2 and lost everything. Now 9.4 seconds back, still having a great run, and that has been what has kept him in the points battles this whole season. He recovers from incidents better than anybody else. Mike Dolling looks like he is starting to pull away from Nalawi just a little bit. Right at a 1 second gap. So far, the two biggest, actually the biggest mover of the day is Ed Schilling, who started in 17th and is currently running in 11th. And as we mentioned, thought coming into the race, during pre-race, we kind of thought that the Mercedes would be a lot more dominant here today just due to that power that it has. And I would imagine if the track temperature was cooler, it might have been a little bit better, but it's hard to put down all that extra power when the back tires won't grip. Giancarlo's lead is shrinking. Yuho is gaining on him. The gap now 1.5 seconds for Yuho. And remember, these two are leading in the points. Giancarlo has 9 points over Yuho. A win by Yuho here today would definitely help close that gap back up, and it has been back and forth the last few races. Whoever wins, generally speaking, has taken the points lead. but they have swapped the top spot in the points several weeks in a row. Looks like Mike Dulling, he was pulling away from Nalawi, but Nalawi is caught back up. Giancarlo just under 7 minutes to go. Can he pull off win number 6? Can Yuho get up there and take the top spot and get win number 4 of the season? Last time by, Yuho was 0.2 of a second faster at the line than Giancarlo. The gap now 1.5 seconds. But at that rate, Yuho would need a few more laps. He's going to have to crank it up just a little bit more if he wants any chance of pulling off the win from Giancarlo. And it looks like I haven't seen Yuho get into anybody. He's got some damage on the right front of that splitter. I'm guessing from hitting the rumble strips and those yellow speed bumps like he just did. Now 1.25 seconds for Yuho. He is closing. That time by, he was 0.3 of a second faster. McCready has gone to pit road. He's actually come and gone from pit road. That was not a planned pit stop. Adam Barker has crashed again in 3rd place. On the brakes hard, down into turn 1, just sends it around. Manages to get it out of the way before the next two get there. Oh, and then trying to get through, ends up damaging the front end of the car. Mike Dulling now up to 3rd. Scott Nalawi to 4th, and Adam Barker back to 5th. Can Adam get back around here, though? Is the damage affecting the handling? Looks like the splitter might be okay. Pushed in a little on the right front, and the nose is pushed in a little bit, but he might be okay. Meanwhile, Yuho has lost ground again. The gap now 1.7 seconds. 3 minutes left. Two to three more laps to go for Giancarlo to get his 6th win of the season. Also worth noting, Yuho has not led a lap in this race. So he came into today having led 90 laps, and Giancarlo had led 166. At this point, Giancarlo has more than doubled the laps led of Yuho and led more laps than everybody else combined. McCready's on pit road again. See what happened there, because that's the second or third time. Nope. And I'm wondering if it was a pass-through penalty. I do not see him moving to stop. I do believe he had a penalty, possibly from his previous stop. Probably speeding on pit road and loses a lot of ground there. Giancarlo in the lead. Next time by, he should get the white flag, and Yuho has closed the gap back down to 1.3 seconds. Mike Dolling has made it to third. Scott Malawi to fourth. Adam Barker, after that incident, back to fifth. Still holding on to that spot. Mike Marshall in sixth, trying to close in 2.5 seconds back. Newcomer Alexander is in seventh. Eighth is Maximilian Gunther. Jason Wahlberg in ninth. Gregorio Caridi in 10th. As mentioned, biggest mover of the day has been Ed Schilling. Started in 17th, up to 11th. Giancarlo coming through the last half of the track. We'll go down the track with him and see the white flag as he crosses the start-finish line. Through that final turn, full throttle. Final lap of the race for Giancarlo. Yuho 1.5 seconds back. He's got to pull something out of the hat to close that gap. And he is really sending it. He's gained 0.4 of a second on this lap. I have to wonder if he spent the last lap trying to cool the tires down just enough to make one last mad dash. Now 1.1. Yuho is closing quickly. Little wide through there. Oh, he lost everything he'd made up. And it may not be enough at this point. The gap now 1.5 seconds. It looked like Yuho might have a shot at him one last time. But as they come through the final section, Giancarlo has over a 1 second lead. Out of the final turn, Yuho really sending it, but it is going to be Giancarlo, win number 6 on the season. Yuho comes home second. Mike Dolling is going to come finish third. Scott Nalawi in fourth. Mike Marshall currently in fifth. And they stop and get ready to celebrate. Let's see if we can get a word with our third place finisher, Mike Dolling. Hey, Mike, this is Doug in the booth. You got me?
Yep, I got you.
Hey, buddy, what a great race! You had Scott all over your back bumper the whole entire race.
Yeah, I tell you, that was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I got lucky at the end. Adam's demise, unfortunately, cost him, but I managed to profit out of it. But it was a good race. And Scott had me pushing all the way through that race. Really good race.
It looked like there was a couple times where you got just over a second ahead of him, and then all of a sudden he come flying back up, and you could almost watch the lap times just creeping a little bit. Wow. Creeping forward a little bit because you were having to push that much harder.
Oh, yeah, it was. He had the run on me a few times, but oh yeah, it was. Yeah, it was my tyres in the Audi. There's at times when it just wanted to kill you, and it was those times where I had to come off the gas, and just to survive. And then he had a run on me, but it was a lot of fun.
Well, man, congratulations! Great third place finish.
Cheers, thanks.
All right, let's see if we can get a hold of Yuho. Hey, Yuho, this is Doug. You got me?
Hey, Doug. How you doing?
I'm great. Have you considered getting some James Bond guns in the front of your car just to shoot his tires out?
No. We don't go for the machine guns. I go to the missiles immediately. Come on, this is ridiculous.
Well, man, you guys had one heck of a battle early in the race, and you and Adam were really giving him a run for his money. It seemed like after pit stops, you fell off a little bit, and then suddenly later, the last 10 minutes, you were surging towards him.
Yeah, I heated up my tires behind the Adam, trying to get past him, and then I just, needed to cool down a little bit to get the tires back working, and was kind of hoping to do something in the end of the race if the guys would have bad tires, but I was gaining a little bit, but not enough. So, yeah, life is tough, then you die.
Well, man, congratulations. Another second place finish. Your season is definitely going really, really well, but hopefully you can get some missiles in the car before next week.
Yeah, we'll try to do that. Thanks.
Right,
cheers.
All right, let's talk to Giancarlo. Giancarlo, this is Doug. You got me?
Hey, Doug. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. So, we're discussing what kind of penalties you should get to start next week's race to give you a slight disadvantage.
Yeah, I mean, today was, I'm sure, Yuho and I think Mike Dowling, you talked to them. It was just an ice rink the whole time, and it got worse and worse progressively, especially with tire wear. So it was really on edge, much more than in previous races. But I was followed by Yuho and Adam for the whole race, and I was really pushing and getting squirrely, and thankfully I was able to stay ahead.
There was a couple of times where it looked like, especially I think it's turn 4, that wide right-hander, that you were just barely holding the back end in check. It looked like it was just twitching under gas.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I think it's the downhill left-hander. I think it might be 6. Coming off the gas there, maybe it's just the Lamborghini that gets real loose, but it was there were a few very, very close calls.
Well, you know what? It is your 6th win of the season, and checking the stats, you now obviously have led the most laps, but you have now over doubled the amount of laps that Yuho has led this season.
That's good, but it's all about the points in the end, right? Laps led don't decide championships. So we'll see what we can do for the remaining. I guess it's 3 races.
Yeah, I don't think there's a question in anybody's mind what's going to happen from here. But Yuho is going to see about getting rockets in the car, so you never know.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. If I have a bad race or get caught up in an accident, Yuho could come in and take the win and be right. You never know up until the last race.
All right, man. Well, congratulations on another win and a great finish, buddy.
Thank you. Have a good one, Doug.
All right. Yeah, I think he's being a little bit humble there, but great job by everybody today and a great race overall. Congratulations to everybody, and thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to tune in tonight. You can see some great Cup racing from BRR Cup Series, followed by the Fast and Fun ARCA Series. Y'all come back for that, 7:30 Eastern. You don't want to miss it. Have a great day.